Good morning, All Saints family. Today we explore some of our life's traveling companions. Recently, I read an article by Julia Cameron about creative clusters. Julia describes these traveling companions as a group of people who are interested in supporting each other's creativity by banding together and undertaking a journey as a group. I realize that, while I never thought of them as such, I've been privileged to belong to 3 such clusters for many years and acknowledge the joy and personal growth they brought to my life. Allow me to share about one such cluster, namely the Nutty Knitters. This cluster started some 12 years ago when a friend was caring full-time for her aged mother, whose health was deteriorating both physically and mentally. My friend was taking strain. I suggested that I teach her to crochet as a form of therapy. The act of crocheting lets you stay in the moment, as you must count stitches as you produce. It restricts a wandering mind. My friend organized a sitter for a few hours a week, and I invited a handful of other friends to join us too. One such friend lived quite far away. After 2 sessions, she said she would work from her home. This started the journey of the Nutty Knitters. As our group title suggests, not everyone became prize crocheters. There are quite a few knitters in the group too. We decided to produce squares for blankets. Initially, all our grandchildren and all our friends' grandchildren were all gifted with blankets. The squares became more professional, and the blankets acquired all kinds of themed motifs. And then the invisible hand of the Creator of all intervened, and my path crossed with that of a doctor who then worked with the AIDS babies at Tygerberg Hospital. She told me of the indigence of most of the families treated for AIDS at Tygerberg Hospital. A new path opened for the products of the Nutty Knitters. Over the years, we have used up miles and miles of wool and made countless baby blankets. We never saw any of the recipients. Sometimes we heard of the heartbreaking stories. That is a brief history of the group, but what of personal gains? There are countless personal benefits to being a member of a creative cluster. There's no leader as such. This space is intended to be a supportive, non-competitive place of shared experiences. It's also a place of encouragement and keeping each other motivated, especially if the patterns are proving difficult. Over the years, the members have expanded their own creative potential and produced their own unique patterns. Working with these creative patterns also keeps us humble. Even when halfway through a blanket and feeling confident, it's not uncommon to make mistakes. It's a safe space and shared intimacy, especially when family members are sick. The stories are revered and treated as confidential. The bonds of years of friendship form a strong supportive structure too. Julia Cameron affirms the importance of creativity and creative clusters. It's important to remind ourselves that creativity is an act of the soul and an expansion and extension of divine creative force, not merely indulging in an ego trip. It is my belief and my experience as a teacher that all of us are healthy enough to practice creativity. It is not a dangerous endeavor requiring trained facilitators. It is our human birthright and something we can do gently and collectively. Creativity is like breathing. Pointers may help, but we do the process ourselves. Creative clusters, where we gather as peers to develop our strength, are best regarded as tribal gatherings, where creative beings raise, celebrate, and actualize the creative power that runs through us all. Blessings always.